A man shot and killed by police this morning after a bank robbery. Witnesses described the scene as the shooting took place.
Plus, 2 people found dead at separate locations in Durant who police arrested that they believe may be connected to both.
And the Texoma police officer resigns after getting arrested. What he's accused of doing over the weekend. News 12 at 6 starts right now.
Live from 12 Studios, this is News 12 at 6.
Good evening and welcome to News 12 at 6. I'm Jen Phillips.
And I'm Dan Thomas. We start tonight with some breaking news to get to out of Love County. I-35 southbound is closed near the Red River as troopers work to clear a deadly wreck in Love County. OHP says that a car and semi were involved and 1 person is dead. Both lanes of southbound 35 are closed near mile marker 1. Drivers are asked to avoid that area. And Sherman police shot a man to death this morning. They say that he was trying to escape from a bank that he just robbed.
That's right. News 12's Braylee McCoy joins us live near Travis Street and Highway 82, where it happened. She's been following this story since it happened. Braylee, what have you learned today?
Well, Dan and Jen, it all started around 8 this morning. Police say they got a call about a bank robbery at First Texoma National Bank on FM 1417 near Highway 82. They say they found the suspect here about a mile down the road near Travis Street and Highway 82, and the rest is caught on camera. Manuel Rodriguez says he was on the way to work when he saw this situation unfolding.
I heard multiple times on the intercom, put the gun down. I see it's a standoff. I see all the police officers behind their cars. That guy pulled something out, and that was it. Oh my God, they just shot him.
The gunfire comes after a robbery at First Texoma National Bank Monday morning. Police say they tried to pull the suspect over near Highway 82 and Travis Street, and that's when he got out of the car.
Officers began the process of attempting to get the suspect detained and in custody. During that process, officers were forced to open fire at the suspect. The suspect did die from his injuries.
Sherman Police Sergeant Brett Mullen says no officers were injured. Rodriguez and his wife say it was shocking to see.
It's scary. I've never seen a shooting up front.
But they say watching it unfold in front of them made them see just how dangerous the situation was.
That's why we have Sherman Police Department to protect us, and I'm sorry it ended the way it did, but he should have obeyed the law.
First Texoma National Bank was also robbed in December at the same location, but police can only connect the suspect to Monday's robbery right now. Well, Sherman police are not releasing the suspect's name at this time, but we'll keep you updated with information as we get it. And we'd like to take a minute to thank the viewers that sent in the videos for today's story. Live in Sherman, Braylee McCoy, News 12.
All right, thank you, Braylee. Well, the suspect in a fatal shooting today in Durant is now also connected to another death investigation in town.
News 12's Stan Smith is live at the most recent crime scene. Stan, what do we know right now?
Police say a man and a woman are both dead, with another man in custody in connection to both of these deaths, with the most recent investigation taking place behind me on Sunnyside Road in Durant. The first, a shooting, occurred around just after 11 this morning, while we just learned about this one in the past hour. Both Durant Intermediate and Middle Schools were placed on precautionary lockdowns while police investigated a man found shot dead on Stonebrook Circle around 11 this morning. 3 hours later, police say the suspect was taken into custody when they found him driving on Highway 70 in Bryan County. And this neighbor walked outside and saw police arriving this morning.
It makes me nervous because this neighborhood, there's a lot of things that's been going on out here, and that makes me nervous. It makes me nervous to live here. I'd really like to move.
Police have not said how this woman here died, and no names have been released. And OSBI will be assisting Durant PD in this investigation. Live in Durant, Stan Smith, News 12.
Well, a Medill police officer has resigned after a drunk driving crash over the weekend.
News 12's Shelby Dowler spoke with Medill police about what happened.
Medill police say it was here on East Main Street at the railroad tracks in Medill where officers had to arrest one of their own following a suspected drunk driving crash.
We're not above the law on things, and we can be held accountable just like other people. And our job is to enforce that law.
Reports say on Sunday, around 1:50 a.m., officers pulled up to a crash scene involving two vehicles with severe damage. One of them, an orange Dodge Charger, driven by off-duty officer Alexander Boren. Reports say Boren had trouble standing, slurred his speech, and smelled of alcohol. The other driver has minor injuries.
I'm very fortunate that nobody was seriously hurt.
Officers arrested Boren and say he was very upset about what happened. As soon as he was released, he met with Police Chief Donald Yao to resign. Yao says this was unexpected, coming from an officer who hadn't done anything like this before.
We do a thorough background whenever we hire somebody, and we check all those things, and nothing like this had appeared on there.
Boren had been with the department since 2015. Last month, he received recognition for the arrest of a fugitive bank robbery suspect from Arizona.
You hate to say that, that old cliche of everybody makes a mistake, but when you're a police officer, it stands out. And that's something we ever have to be mindful of.
Boren is charged with DUI, carrying a loaded firearm while intoxicated, and failure to carry insurance.
Our community has supported us for years, and I would ask that they would just continue to do that and, don't allow one mistake to cause an error and a judgment towards the police department.
In Medill, Shelby Dowler, News 12.
Let's get a check of the weather now. Lots of clouds rolling in today. But does that mean it's actually going to rain tonight?
Chief Meteorologist Steve Lenore has a look at your forecast and what's ahead for your Tuesday morning. Steve.
I think we're looking at a dry night. A couple sprinkles here and there have pretty much come and gone, but the big change has been in the temperature. You recall yesterday we were in the 70s, but cold front came through, the cloud cover thickened up in a lot of spots. As you can see, are anywhere from 5 to 15 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. So we're generally in the 60s right now, even down to 59 degrees this hour for Ringling and Pauls Valley, 61 in Ada and Colgate. And the winds, they're pretty light. It's a very weak front coming in, but it will cause some drier air to filter in. You'll notice the difference in the morning. This morning we were around 55 to 60. Tonight we'll sink slowly through the 50s under dry but mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow morning will be kind of chilly in the 40s, but we'll climb back up into the 60s. Just a small chance of rain, so most of the voting should be rain-free. Not the same situation on Wednesday. I've got those numbers when I come back.
All right, thank you, Steve. Well, the man who was killed after being hit on a Texoma highway early Friday morning has been identified. It happened on Highway 82 in Sherman near Reynolds Road. Police say Preston Fusilier was walking in the roadway. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Sherman police are investigating that crash. A GoFundMe has been created to help the family with his funeral expenses.
A Davis man was killed in a wreck this morning. OHP says it happened on I-35 north of Pauls Valley. Troopers say a car was driving between the two semis while coming up on a construction zone. That's when it was hit from behind by one semi, forcing it into the semi in front. The driver of the car, 63-year-old Julia Cross of Davis, Oklahoma, died at the scene. A passenger in her car went to the hospital. And OHP is also investigating a fatal wreck in McCurtain County today. This one happened on State Highway 3 west of Broken Bow around 1 this afternoon. Officials say the highway was closed for over 3 hours in order to remove both vehicles and logs that were left behind. Troopers have not said what caused the crash or who was involved.
Well, officials say at least one person is in the hospital after a car crash in Pontotoc County this afternoon. Highway Patrol says both lanes of Highway 3E at the Stonewall exit closed around 1:30. The highway reopened around 3 p.m. in that area. Pontotoc County Sheriff's Office says 2 vehicles were involved. One person was pinned inside a vehicle. One person was flown to OU Medical. No word on their conditions tonight.
Well, a Denison man was sentenced to 3 days in jail after his dogs attacked a woman back in 2014. 57-year-old Donald Allen pleaded guilty to 1 count of attack by a dog resulting in serious injury. Police say the victim, Lois Woodall, had just bought medicine for her sick daughter. She was walking home when she was attacked by a pack of dogs near East Sears and North Travis. Witnesses say the dogs knocked her to the ground, biting her and leaving gashes and bruises all over her head and body.
Well, it's National Read Across America Day, why the holiday falls on March 2nd every year.
And get a live look here outside our TMC Tower cam. A mostly cloudy night ahead. Rain, though, is in our forecast. We'll find out when and who's going to get the most. Steve's got the Futurecast.
Coverage sponsored by Douglas Distributing and Propane.
Well, the nation will turn its eyes to 14 states, and that does include Texas and Oklahoma, for what's known as Super Tuesday, and that is tomorrow. In Texas, Tuesday are the Texas primary elections, meaning voters first choose whether to cast their ballots in the Republican or Democrat primary, then choose their candidates for federal, state, and county office, including president. Texas voters can view sample ballots and find their polling places by finding this story on the free KXII News app or our website.
Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, voters will only be choosing their candidates for president tomorrow in what's known as the presidential preferential primary. This one only open to registered Republican and Democrat voters. The state election board offers these tips for voters. Number one, you need to know what's on the ballot. You need to have your ID and you need to know your polling place. We have a link to the state election board's voter portal on our website. Oklahoma's primary election for all other races is on June 30th. Polls are open in both states tomorrow from 7 to 7. Well, it's National Read Across America Day, and one elementary school in Denison celebrated in style. The National Education Foundation sponsors this day dedicated to reading to promote the message that there is room for all readers in every community. March 2nd is specifically chosen to celebrate literacy because it was also Ted Giesel's birthday. That's the author better known as Dr. Seuss. He would have been 116 years old today. Terrell Elementary students donned costumes dedicated to Dr. Seuss as they listened to community members read their favorites aloud today.
Someone that's in their community that they recognize and know how special they are to the community, and to know that they're special enough to come read to them, it means a lot.
That was the Lorax herself there. Well, if you see some familiar faces in these pictures, you're right. That's Jeremy Thomas, David Reed, and myself, and News 12 meteorologist Steve Lenore and Tom Hale also got to read to the kids today. So thanks for having us out there.
All right, fantastic. Well, the Leaning Tower of Dallas is no more. Building finally fell down. That's what it looks like now after a week. Yeah, everybody's very sad.
End of an era.
Yeah, demolition crews took a little teeny tiny wrecking ball and just kind of pecked at it for a while. Finally, it came down. Part of the 11-story office building was left standing, you may remember, at an angle despite multiple attempts to bring it down. The implosion's failure turned into an internet sensation as crowds flocked to see the building. Not sure the rubble will have quite the same appeal.
Yeah, pictures worth $1,000 each now.
Two local basketball teams have a score to settle in round 3. What it means for Whitesboro and Van Alstyne.
Well, a couple of sprinkles earlier have kind of come and gone, but there could be some heavy rain showing up tomorrow night and Wednesday. Who has the best chance of receiving the soaking when I come back?